Wonder Woman, issue 32, legacy number 832, Tom King writing with Daniel Sampeere on the art. So, yeah, Wonder War continues. This one revolves around, like, there's an interview in the White House where the Matriarch's giving an interview to a reporter. But it's doing that thing again where you have to kind of pay attention to the narration boxes and like the fact that there's more than one narration color, and so there's two people talking about her. And at first I thought it was actually continuing dialogue from the interview, and I'm like, oh, that can't be right. That doesn't make any sense because they're talking about her in this weird third person way. So I'm like, okay, so you pay attention to that, and you have to kind of think about that as you're reading through the issue.
When we got to the edit and it became extra clear, I was like, oh, King, I know what you're doing. I like this. This is a callback.
So, you know, like we have that going on, and it's all fluff piece stuff where she's like, oh, you're the best, and you've done all these amazing things, and other people have failed. And obviously she puts in a bunch of stuff about her father being a hero, the sovereign. He was a hero. He was for the working man. Yeah, all right. All right, sure he was. And just in case it wasn't obvious when we get to like later in the issue, when she gets interrupted, because I assume all the stuff that Wonder Woman and Trinity are doing are happening at the same time, and she's maybe hearing in her earpiece, or not earpiece, Mouse Man comes in and tells her, whispers in the ear. I assume that's because the Wonder Woman stuff's happening at the same time, but she just gets up and says, kill the reporter. We'll get another one next week. And it's just like, she's like, what? I've been nice. I've been kissing your ass the entire interview. Well, yeah, so I thought that was a fun, evil villain bit.
Oh, yeah, she sucks. And I mean that respectively.
Yeah.
Right? She's like the worst villain that's ever been wrought upon the DC universe. And it really shows.
Yeah, I like in the art here, Sampeere, that first page, which is a 9-panel grid. Like, panel one's her in the interview in the Oval Office, and the second one is like her as the Matriarch. I like that he makes a point of putting a panel of like her as both versions side by side, so you can compare the hair, and you know instantly, oh, this is her doing this interview. Like, there's no mistake in it, and it makes clear that this is who this is. Because if he just showed you her in the dress or the t-shirt or whatever it is, like, yeah, the white hair might give it away, but it wouldn't necessarily be as completely obvious. But when you put her side by side with like her in her usual outfit, it's like, oh, it's clear this is her in civilian clothes. Right, on you go.
Yeah, and then just the juxtaposition of her in the interview and all the like the regular light, and then all the red light, and with her as the matriarch, and when we see that she's decapitating Blue Beetle in those four panels.
Blue Beetle can't catch a break.
Like, never.
Ted Card just doesn't get in it. Also, we know she's a real nasty villain because she's added stuff onto the White House. She's expanded the building.
Yes.
She's remodeled.
In this case, she made it look like Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This one actually looks like Cinderella Castle.
Yeah. It looks like a Disney castle. It looks like the White House is at the bottom, and then all these Disney like spires and stuff are all on top. Very strange. Very strange.
It really, really, really sticks out. You know, like who would do such a thing in the real world?
Yeah. And then the other plot that's happening, I think simultaneously, is that Wonder Woman and Trinity crash into the water with the invisible jet, and they're basically storming Paradise Island, which is now under the control of the Matriarch, and seemingly has a bunch of male soldiers guarding it now. So it feels really like, no, it's supposed to be Amazons that are here. This feels perverse. What are you doing? You know?
Yeah, and they're all wearing the kind of you know USA Patriot gimmick, right? Where they've got the stars on the armor and the red cape.
Well, yeah, but they're
the flag.
Yeah, but that's leaving out the fact that they also like Romans. They've got like the headpieces and all that. It's just you're right about the color scheme, but it's all very you know, that type of stuff.
Yes. No, it's definitely like a Greek warrior for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
And we also see that the Matriarch at one point delivered the Flash to Gorilla City so the gorillas could beat him to death.
Didn't like seeing that.
We see that Superman's chained up in the dungeon on Paradise Island. In fact, that's probably the hopeful moment, is that the alarms start going off and you just see him smirking because he knows that he knows who it is. He knows that help's on the way.
He hears, right, and we're seeing the speaker stuff, and it just goes, Wonder Woman's here, and he has a slight smile.
Yeah.
You know, just right there. And yeah, we see what she did to Bane, where she punches him, right? And like, so it's showing how strong she is, right? There's this Venom Bane in the Batcave, nonetheless, right?
Oh, so it is, yeah,
And
you're
she
right.
just hits him with a like a slobber knocker, and then as he's bleeding out, gives him a kiss, right?
On the mask, yeah.
And
So
pulls back
on the
on
mask with the blood
yeah,
coming down it, yeah.
and pulls back, and she has this like maniacal look on her face. And this is where it's going.
Well, she's got
with it's alternating between the reporter and her.
She's got
talking about the Sovereign.
Blood all over her mouth, right? So when she leans back, she's got like she looks like she's been digging into like a really juicy rack of ribs or something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
So
again, she sucks in the best way.
So yeah, we see the Wonder Woman and Trinity fighting a bunch of the soldiers, and you know, it's all kind of fun stuff and some action, and you know, like when she gets one of the soldiers down, he says, "Please, no more," and she looks up and screams. Clearly not happy about all this violence, but basically the thing that you get to here that maybe hasn't really been that in depth so far is that it kind of seems like part of like why she is so powerful is because she made a pact or whatever with Darkseid. Because we get this page where she's going up to Darkseid, and part of me was thinking, wait, I know she's taking out some of the villains as well because we saw her take out Bane, but like, don't tell me she's going to take out Darkseid. That's maybe a bit too powerful for her to be doing.
Brother, that's Mongol.
Oh, Mongol. Sorry, not Darkseid. Mongol.
That's Mongol.
Like,
and I just took that as the like it's the way of the warlord. Right? Like, is yeah.
They got similar heads. Okay, I feel no guilt over this.
Brother, no, they come from the same era of drawing space tyrants, all right? Like, but color scheme's different, but just the way that he's standing there, like, of War World, you know, and this is where the reporter's asking about, like, time for a husband or family, and she responds, what is such a tragedy might do to a young woman? So it seems like she made a deal with Mongol here, and that definitely might have helped.
I think this is giving her extra powers or extra resources. I don't know if it's even implying that like that she sees Mongol as the ideal mate. Like that Mongol, yeah, is going to be the father of my children. Bullshit.
He's a political piece.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, sure, we'll do this marriage and I'll take whatever he can give us, but it's just on paper. You know, very Game of Thronesy kind of stuff.
I mean, it looks very amicable though. It doesn't look like she's tricking him or he's tricking her. They're both smiling as if, we're both evil and we're both getting what we want out of this. Is the vibe of it. So yeah, because she looks a little bit shocked because he whispers in her ear and it's like presented side by side with the panel of Mouse Man whispering in her present day ear. And then, but after a moment of shock in her face, she smiles at him. So it's almost like he suggested something super dark, and she's like shocked for a second, and then realizes, oh, I kind of like that actually. Yeah, I'm into the evil plan. So yeah, she goes off presumably because she's heard that Wonder Woman and Trinity are storming the island, and they get to Superman, and Superman motions over that there's someone else here. Because, well, I mean, she even knows. She's like, where is he, Clark? And he's like, here. And he looks over. We see the shot look in her face, and it's like, okay, you know before you turn the page, this is going to be a final page. This is going to be your big splash page reveal at the end of the issue. And it's Steve Trevor, somehow.
But, like, a younger version of him. He's got the shaggy hair. He's still wearing the Marine, right? So this is not... To me, I didn't read this as this was the Steve that died. Right, that was killed by the Sovereign, because that was a much more diplomatic, higher-ranking Steve Trevor. This feels like a younger, idealized version of him.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if you can read anything because, like, to me, the hair was just he's been trapped for a while and his hair's grown out. I didn't necessarily take that as he's supposed to look younger because of the hair. Especially since he says, "Hey, princess, it's been a while. God, I missed you." That sounds to me like he remembers their history.
Maybe. I don't know. I read this as him being younger. So, but again, maybe Matriarch pulled him, because we had that I forget what that story was, where Diana went to the afterlife to look for him, right? And she couldn't get to him. So, like, what if the Matriarch, that's one of her things that she did, was that she went and got him and imprisoned him. You know, and
Sure.
maybe is this his idealized form? Like when he met Diana, that was his form when
Oh,
he was in the afterlife.
I mean, okay, but that's not him being younger. He just looks younger then. Like that's still
Right,
him
right,
post death, and like
right.
post all their history. So, um,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the outfit. I don't know. Like, sometimes you see ex-military people wearing their old their old stuff and
True.
whatnot.
I just, to me, when we got here, it read like a younger version of him, and regardless of what that is, um, but it also was very similar to when Trinity went to go meet the Sovereign, right? She had to go through all of this stuff to go meet this guy that was being held captive, and now her and Diana team up, get to Amazon, back to the Amazon island, and it ends up being Steve that they're there to you know talk to.
Yeah, but I just
Um,
to be clear, I think this is a Steve that's like maybe he physically appears younger, but I don't think he is younger. I don't think he. I don't think
okay.
this is a Steve that's not went through everything with Diana yet. I don't think that's what we're doing here. But no, it's interesting stuff. Yep. So yeah, they have to take down the matriarch. They're having to, they hint that the Wonder Girls are dead. That, obviously they've been showing the various Justice League members and even some of the villains being killed by the matriarch. They're really setting her up as a big villain. I like the issue a fair bit. I don't know if I liked it as much as the last issue. I think it maybe. Well, I like all the different individual things in it. I don't know if it flows quite as well as a lot of, like, I think most of these, like, Tom King and Daniel Sampere issues usually have immaculate pacing. And I don't know if the cutting between the interview, the flashbacks with the matriarch, and the current Wonder Woman Trinity
Yeah,
stuff all blended seamlessly as much as I would have liked. It felt a little bit more stilted to me than most of their issues do, which is normally like butter. Normally,
yeah.
normally I'm sliding through these issues like warm butter because everything just flows so well.
But that's the thing. Each part read like that, but then when you smash them together, it feels like we're taking away from the one versus the other. So like when I'm reading the matriarch stuff and it's locking her with the interview and the stuff that she's done, all that stuff flows real well. And then
Mm-hmm.
all the independently, the Diana and Trinity stuff storming the island, all that stuff flows really well. But when they start mixing them together, that's where it gets lost a little bit and the pacing kind of takes a hit.
Yeah, yeah. I almost wonder if like just like doing all the matriarch stuff first and then doing like almost like a backup of the Wonder Woman
Yeah.
Trinity part would have
Hmm.
worked a little bit better. But regardless,
Yeah.
it's still pretty good, and I still like everything it does in terms of
Yeah.
setting up the story. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Diana with the white streak in her hair. I think that's a real good look, you
Mm.
know? And then there's a page of her fighting all of those soldiers. And she has the one lifted up over her head, and she looks like a total like this is Wonder Woman, right? Like this is an iconic kind of pose. Um, and yeah, Sampere's art is, again, like you said, the flow goes great, but then when there's one moment that stands out, it really stands out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it almost feels like the biggest sin this book has is that it's just not as perfect as a lot of the other issues that King and Sampere have done together.
Hmm.
But still very good. Interesting to see like him having Bane taken out just because Bane was such a big part of his Batman run. So it's just kind of fun for him to
Yeah.
almost like, hey, he was the big villain in my Batman run, and my villain in my Wonder Woman run's beating him. So she's even bigger and badder and more evil. And to be fair, she is because she's taken out a lot of the heroes in this future.
I mean, she's wearing a Green Lantern ring, right? And we know how those rings go, right? So she has a
Mm.
will, and it's what she chooses to do with that will, right? And that's she's breaking people. So she's an all timer villain at this point, just because from what we've seen with her. When she said to kill the reporter, we'll get another one. That's what I knew. I was like, oh, King's cooked one up.
Yeah, I hope Ted Kord had a will in place since he's dead.
Poor Jaime. Jaime can't keep him around. Every time they get friendly, Ted gets got in every universe. But yeah, it is feeling a little Days of Future Pasty, and I mean that as a compliment, where it feels like this is all set dressing for something that Diana or Trinity are going to have to go and do, in the past to prevent the
Mhm.
matriarch from happening. And knowing how Diana is, it's not as simple as throwing baby Matriarch in the ocean and let nature take its course, right? It's like, what can Diana do to prevent this person that just seems to be evil to the core? What can she do to change that? And I do think that's the crux that King's working with.
Yeah. All right, what are you getting given Wonder Woman 32?
Yep. I'm giving this a straight 8.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah, 10. It's still very good. Like, honestly, like, I don't want to sound negative because I'm saying it's not the best issue of the book, because there's a high standard here with this one.